In this video, we are discussing online disputes versus mail disputes, which isn't really a big deal for me, but it's important because in this video, we're going to prove that what credit repair experts on YouTube that are actually quite popular, what they're saying is actually completely false. And it's a big concern because if you are considered a credit repair expert and you have a channel, you have a responsibility to share the truth and not lie or misrepresent people. And you cannot claim to help anyone, regardless of how many followers you have. Having a big plaque on YouTube is not a qualification of being an expert at anything. It's just, you know how to get attention. Not hating on those people, but if you have a big audience and you're misleading people, whether it's because you have the intention. I don't believe people have the intention to mislead people, but I do believe that there's a level of incompetence of these YouTubers that's a big concern because you can't buy into the bullshit. Because I know as consumers, when you watch YouTube, you look at the followers and the views and you think, oh, that must be true what they're saying. Be careful, be careful. You got to stop there. Just because they're really popular on YouTube doesn't mean they're telling you the truth. So without further ado, consumer lawyers agree with me.
My name is John. I'm a consumer protection lawyer in Alabama, and we sue a lot of credit bureaus and companies that credit report. And usually one thing that we need to do is a dispute through the credit bureaus. What about an online dispute? Is that a valid option? That's number one. And number two, if it's a valid option, how do you do it in the best possible way to protect yourself? Now, let me say this. First of all, it is a valid option. Okay, we can do a phone dispute, we can do a handwritten dispute, we can type a dispute, we can do an online dispute. So let's get that out of the way. The real thing that I want to talk about is how do you do the online dispute in the most effective way?
So there is a consumer lawyer, which I'm going to drop his information here, named John Watson from Alabama Consumer Attorneys Association or whatever. He's an Alabama attorney and he's a consumer lawyer, meaning that he focuses on consumers' rights, such as the Fair Credit Reporting Act, the Fair Debt Collections Practice Act, I'm sure the Equal Credit Opportunity Act, the Fair Credit Billing Act, Fair and Accurate Transaction Act, all the laws that I've been stating on my channel for years. And while on the topic of writing about online disputes versus mail, I tend to weave through a lot of things that just pop up on my radar, like the YouTube algorithm, the Google algorithm, and amongst one of the many videos I saw, which are BS, this consumer lawyer agrees with me. And there's a very, very important reason why. Well, one, he's a lawyer, but what he says makes sense because I know based upon my years of experience in doing credit repair that what he says is actually true. And nonetheless, he is a consumer lawyer. And what he says goes against the grain of all these people that believe in Metro 2, 609 credit repair. These people that follow this, that are preaching Metro 2 compliance, 609 credit repair, they all learned from other YouTubers, which is why they focus on YouTube. So be careful. When you look at an expert, you want to make sure, do they just have a YouTube or do they actually have a business? Do they actually have a Google listing? Do they actually have a LinkedIn network where other professionals acknowledge that they are a professional? Acknowledge that they are a professional, right? You can't just look to YouTube and they only have a YouTube and then think they're credible. Notice all these YouTubers, they don't have an Instagram. They don't have a Facebook. They don't have a public business page. They're just a YouTube channel. That's a red flag right there. In my experience, I see people with a big YouTube channel usually don't have other credentials. So let's look at this. So John Watson of the Alabama Consumer Lawyer Association or whatever, he says online disputes are a valid way to dispute. And they are twice as fast. You can watch the video if you want, you can go ahead, but I've already talked about this and I've brought case studies. If you haven't already, watch my video which discusses this. And there's an article that I wrote last year regarding the subject of online disputes versus mail, which extrapolates even more so than John Watson or any other lawyer or credit repair person online. My article and my channel has the best robust information that cites government case studies. private case studies, and other well-known organizations with credible consumer lawyers. These are things that we cannot just, overlook. These are things that we have to take into deep consideration if you're considered a credit repair expert. Now, as in terms of my knowledge in credit repair, I want to let you guys know I was mentored by the original founder of Lexington Law Firm and mentored by former attorney of former President John F. Kennedy. His name is Austin William Cooper. If you haven't already watched this video about me, you want to do some further lookings into my past, into my credentials. And I'm going to leave a video in the link description below so you can see these are my credentials. These are the experiences that I've had, and this is what I've learned. And if you haven't already, watch my playlist, which I'll leave in the link description below, which consists of some of my clients that I've worked on. Now, keep in mind, there's approximately 120 videos. And in each video, there's maybe 5 or 10, sometimes even more, client case studies, client wins, which you can delve through and you can see hands-on. I show you in my computer files that I worked on. I'm actually logging in. You can see the ... in Credit Karma. It hides the password, but I'm logging in. It's as transparent as that. Sometimes I'm doing it at my friend's house. Sometimes I'm doing it at previous places that I lived. Sometimes I'm doing it at a coffee shop, right? I'm showing you a more intimate side of what it's like working with me and my team. So I hope you guys can appreciate that when you are searching for a qualified credit repair professional. Now, let's look at this. Any credit repair expert that is making any case against online disputes, first of all of the things that they say is false. They say disputing online waives your rights. They say disputing online waives your rights, which leads into arbitration, which I will touch up later. But it doesn't really waive your rights. It doesn't really forfeit your rights. You need to understand what that actually means and why it's important. Most people don't want to go to court, all right? That's the flat out truth. Now, if there's any credit repair expert that's talking nonsense about online disputes or mail disputes, it just proves that they're incompetent, okay? Because if they don't already know this about online, they cannot make that mistake, okay? You cannot be wrong about this, right? You cannot be considered a credit repair expert if you don't even have knowledge of this. It's like you're playing chess, but you only know how to it's like playing chess, but you only know how to move the pawn. Well, everyone that read the chess book knows how to move the pawn. They know how to move the chess pieces. All right. But the problem is this: you know how to move the chess pieces, but do you know how to read the board? You know how to get out of bad situations. Now, when I work on a credit profile, I see it as a chessboard of a player that's already moved the pieces around and has gotten a bad situation. And it's our job as a credit professional to help maneuver the pieces to get the client out of that situation so we can make it better for them and actually get results for the customer. The problem is, if you don't know how to play chess, i.e. repair credit, you're going to find yourself making things worse than they actually are. It's like if you begin to work on a car. Well, you could watch a lot of YouTube videos on how to work a car. Very few people can do it. So if you are a person that's watched on YouTube how to repair credit, good for you. But the vast majority of people, they don't, because they're clogged by too many variables. One, they're biased. They have a huge bias against themselves. They lack accountability. These two things right there would cloud their judgment on making the best moves, because if you're not open to the fact that you messed up, you're going to nullify yourself from seeking out other paths that you need to take in order to make your situation better. You're going to miss opportunities because you're too clouded. You need a third party, you need someone outside of yourself to look at your file objectively and to analyze it. Someone that doesn't have a personal relationship with you, a professional relationship, a professional that can look at the situation and see outside of herself, they can make it better. There is a saying, only fools represent themselves. Well, that's true. And it's true because, like I just mentioned, if you have a bias towards yourself and you're emotionally and you're emotionally steered. What I mean by that, if you get excited too easily about your credit, about clicking the dispute button on Credit Karma or Experian, or going online thinking you know what you're doing, or watching a video and then immediately just writing a dispute letter. Well, how do you know you did it correctly, right? There's other factors involved, right? And you might do it to the level that you're capable of doing. Just like a basketball. You'll pick up a basketball, you might know how to dribble it. Give that same basketball to Michael Jordan, and Michael Jordan will be shooting threes all day, okay? So it really depends. The ROI of a basketball is worth more to Michael Jordan than it is to you. The ROI on a credit report is actually worth more to me than it is worth to you, because I actually get paid top dollar for my service, and I provide my clients results, people that stick through the program. Now, here's the thing. One of the disclosures I want to say with you, I don't sit there and sell people a pipe dream. I share my case studies and results, and you see what the truth is. Some clients get awesome results. What I mean by awesome results is like most of the file cleaned within like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. That's pretty awesome. But I also show clients that have taken months, like 6 months, 7 months, to get the same amount of negative items deleted. Now, keep an open mind here. Even if you hire me or any credit repair expert, I'm sure they'll do a great job. And even if you hire the best person, there might still be extreme difficulty on your case, and you may have to consider paying off debts and taking the time to learn how to build credit. You don't necessarily need to repair credit. If you take the necessary steps to prevent you from messing it up in the first place, you can reduce your risk. These are financial habits that you need to adopt and learn. And that's why we have a coaching and mentoring program. I teach you these financial steps. I guide you, I mentor you, I monitor your credit with you. Now, you can have a computer that monitors your credit, but when you actually have a human, there has yet to be any AI program that supersedes the intelligence of a human, let alone a credit repair professional that has upwards of close to 1,000 clients or more on a monthly basis that I deal with. That's the truth. Now let's go back to the whiteboard. So, as John Watson explains it on his channel, if you dispute by mail, your mail, whether it's certified or regular mail, certified would be better, I agree. It just goes to a center. It's just that your certified mail gets to this center faster, which is really not that fast. Okay, but once it gets here, it's changed to a CDV. It's registered as a consumer dispute verification. All right, CDV, it gets sent to a center in India or equivalent. Think about that. Indian people that are just trained to do a job. It's like customer service. They see your complaint. You think these people from India understand law? Do you think these people are really that educated? Nothing against India, but it's just that you get what you pay for. And Indian residents are not experts at American consumer rights, nor are they qualified enough. However, they are qualified enough to do the very basic tasks that these credit bureaus give them. And these credit bureaus want to save money. Disputes are not profitable for the bureaus. Disputes cost the bureaus money. Every time you open a dispute, it costs them money. That's the problem. So it gets sent to India, and then based upon the reading of these people in India or wherever it is, in these call centers or these service centers, it gets sent to the eOscar, and it's now a ACDV, and then basically it gets verified. That's the part where you get stumped, okay? But you don't stop there. And there are multiple actions that you can take to audit these verification processes. And that's in the Fair Credit Reporting Act, all right? It takes an expert to find ways to find a chink in their armor and to discover that they actually didn't verify the item. Now, this system is not going to go away even if you dispute it, because this system is the best and the most cost-effective way that the bureaus can handle these disputes. It's not going away. We can complain about it all we want to the CFPB or whatever, but it's not going away. The Bureau did their job to verify it. That's the truth. And they can get away with it with no repercussions. As long as they respond to it, even if it's sent to India or not, they can get away with it. But that doesn't help you. You need to learn to crack into that system and pull it out and prove that they didn't verify it in accordance with the Fair Credit Reporting Act. Now, that takes skill to do. It takes diligence, because while you're making the dispute online or wherever, you're going to be discouraged, because the same reason you got a late payment because you forgot or your bill was late or you had an accident or whatever it is, life is going to happen and you're not going to be ready when this hits you. Because I have clients that struggle to give me a credit report, that struggle to sign in online. It's crazy. Some clients are like, well, this is kind of stressful. Well, that's why you hired a professional. But guess what? There are some things that you have to do. And if you're not willing to do them, that's on you, not me. We did our part, okay? You need to do your part. And if you can't, in all seriousness, take this serious and listen to a credit repair professional, it doesn't really matter what you do, because you don't care about your life, so it's a complete waste. And that's on you. Remember, this is your life. If you want to get this fixed, you need to listen to a professional. I run a business and I'm a professional. All right? We onboard clients and we service them. I don't have time for nonsense. All right? And neither do you. So take this matter serious, please. And if I tell you to do this, you need to do it. And until you do it, your credit is just a sitting duck. I tell this to all my clients. Most of my clients get it. They do it very promptly. But those people that say, well, I thought I hired you, you were going to do all this. Are you a nutcase or what? Like, who do you think knows more? You or me? I know more than you about credit repair. So you should listen to what I have to say like it's written in the Bible. Seriously, I'm not tooting my horn here. I'm letting you know that you need to get some logical sense and understand I do this every single day. And I collaborate with other credit repair experts and they take notes. I have people that follow my channel, watch my shit, and then copy it. All right? I'm telling you straight up, I have a LinkedIn profile that's hot. My LinkedIn profile is hotter than my YouTube. If you look at the people that follow me, you would notice that. I've been on LinkedIn for many, many years. I've been on LinkedIn since 2009, 2010, and I've been doing the same thing. Although I took a leap of absence off LinkedIn, but LinkedIn is where you get the real business, because that's where people that actually have jobs and they actually have intelligence. Usually people on YouTube are just really dumb. That's just the straight up truth. They're just really dumb. They watch stuff, they binge watch. These people have shiny object syndrome, whatever video that's popping on the Google algorithm, they get excited, they watch that short, they watch this, and they get all stuck in watching this nonsense without verifying these people actually know what they're talking about. That's why this video is my gift to you. If anyone's talking about this, online disputes versus mail, saying that they violate your rights, okay? Violate your rights. Or waive. Waive is actually the better term. They say they waive your rights. Well, first of all, arbitration. Do you know what arbitration is? Arbitration is good because it means you don't go through the traditional court system. Any good lawyer will tell you, don't go to court. Don't go to court. Okay? Any good lawyer that has a big case, it's going to cost money. This whole thing about contingency, all right? Well, I'm telling you, big cases require work, require money. And if the lawyer is any good, he's going to want some retainer up front, all right? And that retainer is no guarantee of the outcome, all right? How do I know this? I have a client, John. He's going through some situation right here, all right? And they want $90,000. He has a good case, but they want money. Don't come to me and say, oh, I know a lawyer who can do it for free. Well, here's the thing. It's called prelitigation for a reason. Prelitigation, focus on this term, and arbitration. Prelitigation and arbitration, in my opinion, logically, Now there is the Black's Law legal definition of this. Black's Law dictionary. I'll put Dick for short for dictionary, not Dick. For this, arbitration and prelitigation. Yes, these are two legal technical terms, but when we use our logic, which exceeds the limitations and confines of just basic legal terminology, we can excel and understand more in depthly what this actually fucking is. And basically, arbitration and prelitigation are the same kind of, pretty much the same thing, with the respect that arbitration, you're not going to a courthouse, and pre-litigation, in the prefix of the word pre-litigation, it's prepare, it's prevent. You want to prepare, prevent, to do before. With the whole action, is you don't want to go to court. Any skilled lawyer that is going after a company or business, it's a win if they don't go to court. Because, well, it's a win for the client. Now, the lawyer's pocket's going to get paid more money, but that's more work, right? What are the profit margins that the lawyer gets? He gets most of his profit through the judgment of the judge and the award of the client. Like if there is a damage, the judge says, hey, you know what, they wronged you, so you get this amount of settlement. Well, out of that, the lawyer gets his percentage of that. But here's the thing, it's better for the lawyer to get profit. Pre-litigation is profit for the lawyer because the lawyer knows he doesn't have to go to court. You don't have to be a lawyer to do pre-litigation, which is exactly why on the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau's website, it says, you can do this yourself. Yes, you can do this yourself, but I have yet to see a regular person like you, which is controlled by their bias, emotionally distressed, okay, anxious, and is not well versed in these laws. So the time you're going to spend on learning how to do this, which I don't discourage you, I just want you to be fully aware. Like I said before, people come on my channel, they learn from me. It's okay, it's fine. No problem about it. I helped you. Good for you. You got some help. But the point is this, knowing people, I know that they're not really going to take this serious unless they buy a course on how to do it. That's why people have courses to sell. Money seems to be a great way to take someone serious. Imagine if everything in life is free. Now here's the thing. If someone's giving you away something for free, it's probably not that valuable, right? And if they're giving you something for free, it's because later down the line, they want something from you. And turns out if you give people a bunch of free information on YouTube, they might sign up with you later. So don't get this whole thing twisted up. Oh, well, bless his soul. Bless his soul. He is a great person for sharing this knowledge. Bro, they're on fucking YouTube. YouTube is paying them for views. It's a stream of income. Take away the whole monetization of the whole process. They're not going to be posting videos. And you notice these YouTubers, they have clickbait titles. I understand if you are in the education industry, you're in this industry, you're in that industry, but finance is the highest paid monetization of YouTube. You got to be careful of these fakes on YouTube. They're just basically sending out whatever information which one person says. So if I am Brandon Weaver and I say 609 is popping, and then every people will watch it, I'm going to copycat and do a video like that, and it's going to pop, 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 and I'm going to get those views. They're focusing on the viewership. They're not really focused on getting the customer the information that they really need. And customers don't often get what they need. They just look for what they want. And I'm telling you, Metro 2 and 609 credit repair, that's already been debunked. There's a reason why that guy's channel has been shadow banned. How do you have like 500K subscribers and you only get 900 views on average? That's a big problem. That shows you you've lost your audience, or YouTube don't want to give you any more views. That's not good either way. All right, I digress. Moving on to the second thing. We've discussed this whole thing. If any YouTuber is popular and they're saying anything against online disputes, then you know they're incompetent. There's no excuse. We've already proven that. This guy in his video talks about how to do the process on a very basic elementary way. Actually, on the Bureau's website, they teach you this. So this guy, what he's doing, he's just telling you what's on Experian's website, What's on TransUnion's website? What's on Equifax's website? It's nothing groundbreaking. Maybe it is to you because you're not educated. Maybe it is to these YouTubers because they're clearly dumb. But I'm telling you, from my perspective, this is how I learned how to do credit repair. I told you, I was mentored by the founder of Lexington Law. It's way, 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 way more profitable to do business this way when you're disputing online because speed, it's twice as fast. Time is money. If I can fix someone's file faster, that means I can process another file and they're happy and on to the next, on to the next. I don't want to get lost in this whole CDV to ACDV method with people in India. We use online, which supersedes India and goes right into the e-Oscar, all right? And it will bypass the limitations of e-Oscar because doing this so much, when you communicate ACDV to ACDV, you're pretty much cracking the code. And that takes experience because we know when we send a dispute in this fashion, in this format, to this specific department, because like I said before, there's videos about, I think I made a video about this, I would say a year ago. Yeah, about a year ago, maybe more, maybe a year and some months. I specifically told you the link. I showed you the interface. You can go to Experian's website right now. Go to Experian. Go to Experian.com. Go on your profile. Click dispute. I'm telling you, that interface is not the interface we use. We use a special link to get back into Experian to dispute. That's how we do it. And with Experian, you notice there's 2 other bureaus. You can access TransUnion and Equifax all through Experian. So to dispute online, it's complex. John Watson was correct. It's complex. But here's the thing. That's why you want to hire a professional in the first place. Obviously, these YouTubers, what they said on their YouTube video, it makes sense. Yeah, if you dispute that way, then clearly that's not how you dispute online. John Watson already verified what I said is true. And based upon what even John Watson said, if you're going to dispute like that, that's the very basic way. That's the very basic way to dispute online. And the living proof is the playlist in the link description below. Guess what? Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. All of those files were disputed online. Now, we look at prelitigation and arbitration. Okay? And avoiding court is the main thing. Why do you think these lawyers may do things on contingency basis? Because it doesn't cost them any money to get a paralegal. They have pretty much everything templated out in their system, and they could send the letter directly to the bureau. That's why it doesn't cost them any money. It doesn't cost them. It costs them very little money to send a certified mail, right? Now, when you hire them, you got to call them. They may charge you for the certified mail and all that. And I'm sure you don't mind to pay $7 for certified mail. I'm sure you don't mind. $5, whatever it is. Yeah, you're like, okay, well, this lawyer says I can do it. He's the lawyer. Boom, you're going to do it. You're going to buy it, right? Or maybe they have a small retainer. They have some hidden retainer or something. I wouldn't say hidden, but they're not fully disclosed on their website, their fees. Like, what lawyer fully discloses their prices on their website? I haven't met any lawyer that does that. Usually, you book a consultation with them behind closed doors, and then you find out what it's actually going to cost. And then lawyers have stages: first stage, second stage, third stage. And it's written in their contract. It's not publicized on their website. Lawyers don't put their contracts on their website. Hello? What's wrong with you guys? They don't do that. I've yet to see that. I'm not saying it doesn't exist, although I do believe it may exist, but it's very rare, very rare. I don't really see that, all right? So that's fine. That's completely fine, because showing prices on your website doesn't necessarily mean you're not going to be a qualified expert. That's just a nuance. What really boils down to it, there's people that don't even have a website, people that don't even have contracts, but their skill is very good. They could say, you just call them up and say, hey, I need my credit fixed. I have their numbers, and they'll fix it. They'll do the best they can. They don't have a website. They don't have anything. They don't even advertise. They don't have a business. They can just work from home and do it. Yeah, I know those people. Those are my friends. And nobody knows about them though. You just have to know people in the industry. I've been in the industry for a while. all these YouTubers, I can name drop and be like, who is this guy? Like, nah, he's just a guy that came recently, right? You gotta watch out for these guys. So arbitration and pre-litigation, we discussed that. Pre-litigation, you're not going to court. You don't want to go to court. You can go to small claims court and do this, right? You can go to small claims court online, file a complaint based upon the Fair Debt Collections Practice Act and say, hey, they violated my rights, here's this, and the fines tack on to $1,000 to $10,000 to $7,000, because you have to understand the minimum lawsuit criteria for a civil lawsuit, depending upon your states, it's like $10,000 to $20,000, around there, if I'm not mistaken. So unless you have $10K to $20K in damages, you can't go to civil court. Even if you try, they're just not going to deal with you. You have to go to small claims court, and that goes back on to you. Here's some knowledge for you. If you're dealing with a creditor and the fine is less than $10,000, they're probably not going to sue you. They'll probably take you to small claims, but it's a court. All right. So that's another thing. The likelihood of them suing you, they'll collect the debt, and once they find where you're at, they could file it. But it's not common for them to do that. All right, so you guys got to know this, be aware of this. So back again, we're going to talk about Metro 2609. These YouTubers prey on uneducated people. Uneducated people, like I said, if you guys have bad credit, if your FICO score is below 700, you got bad credit. You're in no area in your credit world, in your credit situation, to be telling anyone about credit. I got people that have a 568 FICO score, that live inside their car, that is in repossession status, that they illegally said it was affected by a natural disaster, so the car is unknown where it's at, so they chop it off as a loss. Yeah, I have those people. That's a bit of an extreme, but you have people like that are still living in cars with a 568 credit score, trying to act like they know what they're talking about. That's just delusion right there. You got people in trailer parks that haven't even made it out yet, that are financing vehicles, still giving out credit advice. Like I said, if you have below a 700 FICO score, I don't think you have the right to teach anyone about credit at all. That's just my opinion. If you think that's a qualification, bad credit, if you think having bad credit is a qualification to educate people on how to repair credit and build credit, okay, that's how you evaluate things. But you have to keep in mind, these people on YouTube, they prey on uneducated people, and they give you knowledge, like fake knowledge, saying mail is better than online. Well, you have John Watson saying, and I quote him, it's twice as fast. You guys are in a hurry, right? You want to fix things quick, right? Well, if you can chop the time in comparison to disputing in mail by half, it's worth doing. And in my article, I break down the numbers of the mail dispute lead time and the online dispute time. If you haven't already, read my article. My article has the best, most robust, extensive, thorough information on the subject of credit disputes in general. It breaks down the whole process, where it goes, how long it takes, and the follow-up. And it talks about Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax. I quote their websites. There's no other YouTuber or YouTube video or website that provides more information than my information, which is why I have companies like badcredit.org writing articles about me, Time Business News writing articles about me, Better Credit Blog writing articles about me. I'm leaving those links in the video description for you guys to find out. So I think that's it for today. We've covered a lot. I'll see you in the next video.